coming to Europe. Can you believe it? I have been waiting for a year to get these plans together, and I am extraordinarily excited for how this literally fell together. I want to talk about the workshop with you. I want to give you an opportunity to feel into what we're going to be doing for this particular workshop, to feel if it's singing to you, if it's calling to you, and if it is, book in. All right, so a little bit about this workshop. This is our kind of signature awakening to the feminine workshop. Awakening to the different faces of the feminine. And the feminine that we work with, the different archetypal energies or parts of self, they're just threads of Shakti. We've all got them. But the archetypal energies or parts of self that we work with are the ones that you probably aren't going to find in too many other places. So I love working with the dark goddess. I love working with the medicine woman. And I love working with the lovers. Why? One, because we hold the most rubble in those particular archetypal energies. Two, because it's hard to find spaces to work with these particular energies, right? With these parts of self. If you think into your family patterning, feel into your mom, feel into your grandmother. Here's a couple of questions. How open was your mom, was your grandmother to the fullness of her sexuality? It's just a question to feel into. And then think about your mother and your grandmother, the lineage again. How open was she to her gifts, to like that big potent women's wisdom, right? How open was she to women's business? And you might not even know what the heck women's business is, but you've got to feel for it, right? So it's this knowing that we hold in our bones, right? It's the fullness of the feminine. So I always use this analogy of here's the full expression of the feminine, right? This full, like 180 degrees. Most of us operate like in this. Maybe we've got this much, but most of us operate in this. So what this is about is we're going to open up to parts of self that bring us into this fullness. Some of these archetypal energies are the big awakeners. So we always work with the big awakeners of the body wisdom within, the divine wisdom within. So like the Shakti awakeners. That is a big component of this workshop, is just the absolute waking up to the big feminine potency that resides within us. Then we look at Dark Goddess. So Dark Goddess comes in, and for her, it's taking us to some of those more hidden aspects of self. Some of the places that are really tricky to get to, but they'll slip out. So a great little example of this is PMS, right? So PMS and that slippage of just that nastiness leaks out, and it just that's oftentimes Dark Goddess who's not fully owned. So Dark Goddess takes us into these hidden places in the psyche. Lots and lots and lots of stuff comes from the reclamation of the Dark Goddess. Your entire life shifts from the reclamation of the Dark Goddess. Also, medicine woman, it is extraordinarily important for us as women to work in the medicine woman face, to work in the different archetypal energies or Shaktis, again, or just parts of self. So to work in those areas, because it opens us up to our gifts. It opens us up to our deepest purposes, are these medicine women, and what's hidden underneath the rubble. And if you know anything about rewilding, you've heard me talk about the rubble. So I also want to share with you that we do a variety of different practices. We all resonate with different doorways in. So in this workshop, we will use 10 different doorways, probably more, but a minimum of 10 different doorways. We use shamanic practices, we use tantric practices, we use archetypal practices, we use astrological practices. We use a lot of different practices to bring us into these parts of self. Okay, what else can I tell you about the workshop? If you've been hanging out with ReWilding, you will also know that I do not do a workshop without bringing in the divine masculine. So for us at ReWilding, it's not about let's shift from this masculine way of being, this patriarchal society, into this full matriarchal society, and this like swing into that like crazy wild feminist stuff. It's about coming from this masculine way of being, this patriarchal way of being, and bringing both of them up into equality, right? So you'll also see that this workshop is themed around the union. We will open to the masculine. We will open to both. We will see how that dances within us. So how the masculine and feminine dances and jives within us is the expression of how we are in relationship. So the more that these internal energies are cohesively moving and dancing together in a beautiful way, the better our relationships are, the better our sex is, right? So when we work on the internal, the whole of the external shifts. Everything in your life starts to change because that inner relationship has changed, right? So men in your life will change. The way that you treat your sons will change. The way that you treat the husbands, the uncles, the fathers, the godfathers, the grandfathers totally shifts. The way that you operate in the world shifts. And definitely the way that you make love shifts. So if this is singing to you, if this little conversation has lit something up in you, or if there's that little like wise intuitive part going like, I think that should be for me, or sometimes even if it's making you extraordinarily uncomfortable and nervous, that's still that little part of self going, this is for me. Feel into it. If it's singing, book in. All of our retreats, all of our workshops have filled. Because this is our first time coming to Europe, I have a good feeling that these tickets, these spaces will not last very long. It's an intimate workshop. 30 women is the max number for this workshop. If it's singing to you, I would love more than anything to rewild with you. I don't know when we'll get back to Europe. This is our only trip planned for 2018. So if you can make it, and if you're going like, I think that's for me, I will see you very shortly for a really big, deep weekend.